And welcome back to the Pit Straight. Earlier today, we watched the sprint race. Now it is qualifying for the main Grand Prix. 3 sessions, 18, 15, and 12 minutes respectively. Drivers going from 20 in the first session to 15, or 215 in Q2, and then finally to the last 10 in a 12-minute, basically one lap race for pole. I mean, not race, but of course, qualifying. But that is about to begin shortly. I am going to be silent for just a moment so I can check my audio. Perfect. And looks like driver intros are about to start on the F1 TV / ESPN broadcast. I use F1 TV, but anyway, here we go. Qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. Top three. I mean, it's hard to go against Piastri because of what he did yesterday, being 4/10 up on Verstappen. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go, let's go Piastri. I'm going to go Piastri. I don't think Verstappen, well, he got second. But let's go Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, Russell. I think Russell could potentially come in a third place, but we'll see. That may be a bit of a bold claim for Russell to get third, but yeah, we're going to find out right here as they're about to show the track off for Belgian Grand Prix qualifying. And also I'm listening to, I guess it would be the Scott Sports broadcast, just in case they say anything. So if I mention anything from them, that's what it is. So qualifying's about to begin soon. Again, this is 20 cars vying for the pole position. Saying there's a threat of rain for tomorrow's race, but it looks like it's going to be dry today. 140.5 is the track record. We may see that broken today. And excuse my yawning. Excuse me. Trust me, I am excited for this, but I had a very early start this morning. Showing off the tires, I believe it's a C1, C3, C4 tire. C4 is the softest, which will be the tires that everybody runs in Q3 if and when they make it. But they are about to start in a few minutes. Showing off all the fans. Trying to see if I can get my volume right. But yeah, showman. Looks like it's sunny still. Bit cloudy, bit overcast, but more sun than clouds as it was in the sprint just 4 hours ago. That's crazy that there was a sprint race and now we're doing qualifying for the main event. Show it off. Excuse me, showing off the countryside. Showing off the Camel Straight as well. It is 96 degrees in Belgium, 55% humidity, wind about 8.2 kilometers an hour, which I think is around 5 miles an hour, heading southwest or southeast slightly. Show some of the Dutch fans, of course, there for Verstappen. They got orange cowboy hats on, so I'm assuming that they're fans of Verstappen. Cars are lining up at the end of pit road. Looks like we got a Racing Bulls, we got a Williams, we got Hulkenberg. Looks like Stroll's up next, and then I believe Hadjar. So Lawson is the first or second car in line, it looks like right now. Showing Verstappen. Qualifying is officially set to start in about 2 minutes' time. We start at, I believe it's 4 local, 5 local. I know they're doing Formula 3 is doing their feature race at like 2:30 my local time, which is really early. But because I think it's like 8:30. No, I think they're 6 hours ahead, so it must be 4 o'clock. I think we'll see it. Well, they may actually show the clock before. They're showing a replay of something. Fernando Alonso coming out of the pit. Ooh, unsafe release potentially from a Haas there. You're watching the VOD. If you want to check these out live, go over to our YouTube channel of the Pit Straight. And if you are watching the VOD, thank you so much. But we're going to get back here in a second. But yeah, again, if you're watching this on the VOD, thank you so much. Check us out live. Oh, that's loud. Alonso saying he had to brake as hard as he could or he would have gotten hit, which makes sense. 10 seconds and qualifying will begin. And it is 4 o'clock there, so they are, it's 4 p.m. local, so the race will be a 3 p.m. local start tomorrow. Green lights are on at the end of pit road, and Alpine is first. They'll take their time getting out of the pit lane. It was Oliver Behrman who pulled out in front of Alonso, so that is being looked at as the cars hit the track for qualifying in Belgium. First 18-minute session to start qualifying as they come up to Eau Rouge Radion, going into the Camel Straight and into turn number 3 or 4. Officially, I think it's 4, but I could be wrong. They hit the actually I'm wrong. Anyways, it's turn 5. Looks like a wing change for Hulkenberg. May have gotten some damage trying to get out, but couldn't get out. So they're changing the wing on Nico Hulkenberg. We're about to see the replay. Yes, here it is. I think he tried to get out in front of the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin just wouldn't let him. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Oh, the Aston Martin actually ran over. That was Lance Stroll. Trouble for both Aston Martins coming out of the pit lane. So that is a front wing change. Front end plate fell off of Hulkenberg, but he got the wing change and he is good to go. Looking at the Aston Martin coming by, we have Racing Bulls coming up as well. This is most likely Hadjar. Then we see Behrman and Alonso. Alonso is probably really annoyed right now at what happened. And whoa, I think there was a block that was just thrown there. Wow. Very rare that you see that in qualifying. Behrman just tried to block Alonso. Coming to turn 8, I believe that this is, before the left-hander, and then it's a Pouon. Verstappen is still in the garage. Verstappen, Russell, Antonelli, Bortoletto, and Tsunoda are all in the garage as of right now. None of them have left their pit garages yet. So, oh man, what's the name? Ted Kravitz Ted Kravitz, aimless at the International. So Ted Kravitz just said that Stroll is having to come back into the pits. And then we're looking at the Williams. Looks like Gasly and Colapinto have started their laps. Okay, this is probably Carlos Sainz we're looking at. Here it's coming into the bus stop chicane. There we go. Yep, Carlos Sainz is about to start his lap. Looks like he has a 2. Aston Martin's behind him, but of course we know Stroll is coming into the pits. McLaren's are in turns 14 and 15. Got a Haas as well, about to cross the start-finish line. But yeah, it looks like Williams as well. Looks like Albon came back into the pits. We are on our first flying lap with Carlos Sainz. It's amazing that they can hold it flat out through that corner. And then coming up to the Camel Straight, hitting the brakes for turn number 5. Norris has started his lap. Looks like 14 cars are on track currently. They've all got good space between them. Piastri is starting his flying lap. You would expect, like, your Piastris, your Norrises, basically your top 6 or 7 to only make one lap. Sainz a little bit offline out of turn number 9 into Pouhon. And if you're watching the Sky feed, Martin Brundle is commentating the lap of Carlos Sainz. So, waiting on the first results to come in. Again, this is to see who will start in 16th through 20th. That's all this is. This isn't the poll. You're just trying to not be in the last 5 in Q1. Hamilton has started his first flying lap officially. We're about to get our first laps in because I believe there were a couple of cars ahead of Sainz. So we're about to get official positions for the cars as they finish up their first flying lap of Q1. Actually, no cars yet, so it looks like Sainz will be the first car to cross. Oh, he abandoned the lap. So Carlos Sainz has abandoned the lap. We're looking at the Haas. This is most likely, can't tell this is Ocon. It's Ben Ocon. So it looks like no official laps, at least on the timing screen, no official laps. Hulkenberg Stroll, investigation after session, unsafe release. I mean, most likely, Hulkenberg Stroll, there may be a grid penalty for Hulkenberg coming in. May not happen, but that would be, I feel like that would be the penalty. So just waiting. Hulkenberg, 114.448 through Sector 2. There we go. First official lap times come in. Right now it is Oscar Piastri with a 141.9. Of course, they're not pushing yet. They'll wait till Q3 to push. They're just trying to make it to Q3 in the first place. But 141.998 is Oscar Piastri's first time. Ocon has abandoned the lap. A lot of abandoned laps. No bankers yet, apart from Piastri and Norris. Hulkenberg also comes in. So right now, only 2 laps so far. And the McLarens, Piastri and Norris, looks like we see Ferraris bringing somebody back into the garage. So just 2 laps so far. We're looking at Verstappen on his warm-up lap, his out lap. No time from anybody yet. Everybody's coming back into the pits, which is interesting. Maybe they're just trying to hold what they got. Russell back into the pits. So all these out laps are coming back in with no times being set. Right now, the only car in Colapinto, 18 cars are out there on the track. But even though we've seen a lot of cars come to the pits, maybe just the graphics haven't changed, or maybe they're changing tires. So they may have used a scrub set. As we have both Red Bulls of Tsunoda and Verstappen. Verstappen is the first Red Bull. And then looking at Tsunoda in the background. Verstappen is starting his lap, so we may get a third time here. So there's only 10 minutes left to go in the 11 minutes left to go in the session. Got a good spread between all the cars. Verstappen does have to deal with an Alpine and a Ferrari coming out of the pits. When they stay out of his way. The Ferrari is getting out of the way of Tsunoda. Verstappen coming up at the top of the hill. So maybe we'll see the first competitive lap time versus Piastri as he rounds out the end of Sector 1. 30 point. Okay, he's 3.033, so 33 thousandths of a second behind Piastri at the end of Sector 1. Coming into turn number 8. So it is number 8, and then the left-hander turn 9 before the Puhan in turn 10. Then a little kink, they're counting it. Verstappen gets a little bit in the gravel. There was a driver who got in the gravel earlier. Can't remember who it was. It's got some cars in front of him. The Sauber and it looks like a Ferrari both get out of the way. We got more times. Russell, 142.5. Antonelli, 142.7. So Russell, that third place prediction is not looking great. Half a second behind Norris. Verstappen is 1/10 of a second behind Piastri. He could split the McLarens again, maybe? I don't think he's close enough. But again, just trying to get it through. Sector 1, Sector 2, and Sector 3. Under 10 minutes left in Q1. Verstappen makes the bus stop chicane. Coming across the line with a 142.0, 1/100th of a second faster than Norris. He does split the McLaren's. Liam Lawson in the Racing Bulls purple Sector 2. We could see a Racing Bulls at the top of the leaderboard here, which would be definitely an interesting prospect. Only 7 competitive times so far. Lawson, Behrman with a purple. So we could be seeing Lawson go to the top, 141.7. Behrman coming through. So we will probably see the McLarens come out for a second run towards the end of the session, as Behrman is on pace to potentially eclipse Liam Lawson. Coming to 8.5 minutes left in the session. Behrman, third fastest. Alex Albon, second fastest. Carlos Sainz is coming out of the bus stop, opening the DRS, coming across the line. P1, 141.6. Piastri and Norris are back out on outlaps of the track, is gaining speed. Hadjar only 8th place compared to Liam Lawson's second. may have dealt with traffic. We're not really sure. So we're on board with Charles Leclerc as he comes into the penultimate corner before the long back straight to the bus stop chicane. Leclerc currently 0.88 up on Carlos Sainz as he makes the left-hander. Let's see where Ocon is. 7th of a second behind Sainz, so Ocon has some work to deal with. Charles Leclerc is coming to the end of his lap. And we're just going to see where that goes. Leclerc coming through the bus stop chicane now. And Ocon Leclerc's close to the line, takes P1 from Carlos Sainz. So currently the McLarens are in 6th and 8th. Ocon coming across the line, only 13th fastest. Hamilton coming into the bus stop. The next driver to set his competitive lap time. Currently no time set for Hamilton. The only driver who hasn't set a time, 6th fastest. Looks like a car just entered pit road, and there's a Sauber coming out of pit road. And McLarens are starting their first lap. This looks like we are on board with Lando Norris, taking a wide line so he can get as much speed as he can coming out of the final corner. DRS open, flying lap is starting, coming into turn 1. Let's see if he has anybody to deal with traffic-wise, and he does not. Comes in and out, clean turn 1. Let's see how he compares with Leclerc at the end of this first lap. There's a lot of smoke coming out of the car as the car bottoms out through Eau Rouge. DRS is open as he comes to the end of turn number 5, as it turns out. 0.222 behind Leclerc, so slow sector 1 for Leclerc there. They should have enough time to run at least 2 more flying laps. But yeah, not a great first sector for Lando Norris. His teammate Oscar Piastri behind him. Cars are coming in to the pits to prepare for the final run. You would expect teams like McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari to make it out of Q1, but of course you had drivers like Lewis Hamilton not make it out of SQ1 yesterday, locking the rear brakes going into the bus stop chicane on his flying lap. Taking a right, taking the left-hander. Martin Brundle is commentating over the lap again. Wow, purple sector 2. He's now 4/10 up. So running a lot of that tells me they're running enough downforce for them to have a great second sector. And the Ferraris could be trying to make its gains on the long straights. But Norris is purple sector 2, green sector 1, yellow sector 1 for Piastri, so that means he did not do better than his personal best in that sector. We're about to get the sector update in about 10 seconds from Oscar Piastri. Norris comes across the line. You would expect him to be close to the top, and he does. 141.010. 6/10 quicker than Leclerc. Purple sector 2 and 3. As Piastri is coming across the line for sector 2. Purple sector 2, 0.069 behind Norris. Again, not a big deal where they finish this session as long as they are out of the bottom 5, which currently is occupied by Franco Colapinto in the Alpine, George Russell in the Mercedes, Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, Kimi Antonelli, who is out on an outlap, and Gabriel Bortoleto. As we should be seeing cars coming out any second now for their final Q1 run. Piastri, only second fastest, 0.191 seconds behind Lando Norris. And so far, those on track are Verstappen, Alonso, George Russell, Lance Stroll, Kimi Antonelli are all on their outlaps. You would assume Norris and Piastri are either going to slow down, save their tires, and get the battery back for one more run, or they'll just come into the pits and end their Q1 session with a few minutes to spare. We are under 5 minutes looking at the fans. Bottas and Toto Wolff we're looking at right now, as drivers are coming out to do their final laps of Q1, and we'll get our first eliminations as well. So just waiting on all that to be happening, all that to wrap up. And sorry, I'm also just working on something over here as well. So excuse me for just a moment as I'm looking over there. But yeah, cars are on their outlaps. So nothing crazy happening quite yet. You should still be able to see me and all that stuff as I get this set up. So cars are coming, as I've been saying, are coming back out onto the track. But sorry about that. We're back. George Russell is starting his final, what you would assume would be his final lap of this session. In Q1. As Antonelli 2/10 up on Alonso right now, so that is the time to beat. Russell 3/10 up on Alonso, finishing the first sector. The good thing is they will finish with enough time to do another flying lap, but if they don't have the tires or anything, they're not going to be able to do that. So just kind of a waiting game to see what they do and what happens with the bottom five. As we're getting my backup stream going, just in case I need it. But cars are coming across the line. As Bortoleto is green so far. Sonoda is currently at the cutoff point in 15th place. Behrman only 1/10 of it, or 2/10 of a second off Norris after sector 2, so that's a pretty good run from him. And currently it is Norris still in P1. Behrman in 5th as he crosses the line. He will not be able to take another lap. That may be good for him. Antonelli's in the elimination zone. Gasly purple in sector 1. Coming to the end of sector 2, this may be a great lap from Gasly as he is getting ready to cross the sector 2 line. 6/10. Wow. So the McLaren is definitely set up for sector 2. They're taking some losses in sector 1, but sector 2 is where they're picking up. So far, only 4 drivers have technically brought in their final times for this session. But you would assume, like Norris and Piastri, they're not making another run, so they're probably out of it. Out of making a lap, run for another lap. But Gasly, all he needs to do is beat Lewis Hamilton, who's currently at the bottom. Gasly goes up to 11th. So right now it is currently Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Antonelli, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and Franco Colapinto all in the bottom 5. As the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton comes to the line. Will he have enough to make it? Yes, he does. He comes up into 7th position. So he's making, both Ferraris are in. Bortoleto. Ocon is currently sitting on the threshold as Colapinto comes across the line. Does not improve. 17th position. It's the best that he can do. He will start 17th. Are there any other cars who could be coming in? I don't believe so. I believe we have our running order set. Kimi Antonelli is an 18th. A disappointing Q1 exit from the young Italian driver for Mercedes. So, looking like the bottom 5 as it stands are Gabriel Bortoleto 16th, Franco Colapinto 17th, Kimi Antonelli the Mercedes 18th, and the 2 Aston Martins, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, are bringing up the rear. But as we have a gap in between the sessions, we will be And what is a surprising twist after Q1, as it turns out, Lewis Hamilton at, at the top of radio, and I believe they said on the broadcast, all four tires over the white line. He is out in 16th position. Gabriel Bortoleto moves through, so both Kick Saubers are in Q2. Session started about a minute and a half ago, but cars are finally hitting the track as they're looking to secure their place into Q3 for pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. As cars are making their first laps, you would expect 2 runs as well in this session. I'm going to check on my audio real quick. Okay, it works because I left it unmuted. Haha. But looking at the beautiful Belgian countryside, I believe in the Ardennes region. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's where they're at. Seeing where the teams and drivers are. My prediction is still alive with Russell, Norris, and Piastri 3-1 coming into this qualifying session. Looking at Max Verstappen as he is coming into Puhan, it looks like. Yep, he just took that left-hander. He's about to be into Puhan. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that also as well. But looking at, looks like we got the drone shot going back up. The way that F1's been using the drone, I'm assuming this is the drone because it's slightly too smooth for it to be the Helicam. But the way they've been using that camera has been really great throughout this whole season. But for Verstappen, looks like he's the first car on track, so he should be the first lap time that we see being set in this session. He's making the little left-handed kink now before the bus stop chicane, looking into the garage of the Red Bull Racing team. Of course, having a new team principal, Lauren Mekies, after the departure of Christian Horner. Verstappen taking the he's taking the wide kind of diamond line into the turn and starting the first flying lap of Q2. Verstappen comes into turn 1 and is about to go up Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the first time. Sonoda is the next car across the line. So the 2 Red Bulls wanting to get out there early into the session. Excuse my yawning, sorry. It's actually Russell came in the line next. But of course, Verstappen has a purple sector 1 so far. I'm not going to know anything on times yet, of course, until all the cars cross the line and can see where we're at. Ocon purple. But again, not that surprising because I believe that they are running a lower drag setup. So we should see. It'll be interesting if Ocon is purple after Sector 2 as Verstappen goes around both Kick Saubers. That'll be interesting. Verstappen, of course, we'll see a purple by his name on Sector 2 because he is the first car across the line on a flying lap. Interesting where Ocon is. Green Sector 2, so Ocon not quicker than Verstappen. And then on the timing screens only show Verstappen and Ocon as Verstappen a little bit of a slipstream coming to the bus stop. So Verstappen is about to set the time to beat here in Q2 with a 1:40.951. Ocon next, P2. Don't know the gap to Verstappen. I think it's about 0.7 of a second gap. So Tsunoda 141.2, 0.3 off as we are on board with the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, who is the lead McLaren. Both McLarens got purple in Sector 2 when they were crossing the line respectively, but currently Norris is the fastest through Sector 2. Having a little bit of a glitch with the graphics there on the broadcast. But across the line, Piastri goes to the top. 0.3 of a second quicker than the Verstappen, 140.6. Track record's 140.5, I believe it showed earlier. Norris, 0.08 of a second behind Oscar. As Leclerc, the lone Ferrari in this session. Coming into the final kind of right, left, right, right into the back straight. Hadjar, green. Leclerc 3/10 behind Piastri, so should be a top 10 for Leclerc. Hadjar 7/10 behind Piastri coming out of sector 2. Hulkenberg almost a second behind Piastri, so the podium finisher from the last time out in Great Britain. Currently on the back foot. So far, surely Leclerc would be getting out of the bottom 5. He's in the bottom 5 just because of no time set. He does 4th place. 4/10 of a second behind Piastri. Hadjar, next car across the line. 8th. Doesn't guarantee him freedom just yet. Hulkenberg next. Only goes up to 11th. He is still in the drop zone. And Bortoletto comes to the line in 12th. We are waiting on Oliver Behrman, who is in pit lane. He has not come out yet. For his time, I don't know if there's an issue in the car. So just waiting. Actually, we're looking at Oliver Behrman now. He did have an issue going into Puhan. Ooh, tank slapper there. Almost lost it, so he just went ahead and abandoned the lap. He is the only driver to not set a banker. Just got onto the curbs, and the rears looked like they got a little bit out from under him. Excuse me. 15th currently for Behrman, no time set. As all the cars, oh nope, not all the cars, as we're looking at Pierre Gasly. Looks like he is coming into the final 2 right-handers before the long back straight. Looking at Max Verstappen coming back into the pits. They're probably going to change tires and get ready for one last push in Q2. You would suspect that he is safe. Tsunoda is in 5th, so a closer gap there. Both McLarens are in with 6.5 minutes to go. They are all gearing up for their final run in this session. Just looking at Piastri versus Norris. Piastri is quicker on the straights. Norris is quicker basically in all the twisty bits of the circuit, is the best way to put it. Piastri, yeah, 0.089 of a second quicker than Lando. Final 6 minutes to go. No cars. Bortoletto is still on track, but not sure if he's doing an in-lap and out-lap or if he is. Okay, all cars are in the pits. Getting prepared for the final run. Leclerc radio. Leclerc doesn't think he has any more pace in the Ferrari. Technically, his best lap did have yellow sector, so he could go quicker if he got the perfect lap, but all cars are in the paddock, in the garages, waiting to go for the final session. But yeah, if you're watching this content, whether on the VOD or live, thank you so much for watching us here on the Pit Straight for more motorsports content just like this. We're going to be doing NASCAR in the future as well. Watch-alongs, but I just thought, it'd be fun to do some Formula 1 watch-alongs. So we have covered both main Formula 1 sessions today with the sprint race earlier this morning, and now finishing up the day with qualifying. Finishing up the day, and it's not even 11 a.m. yet here on the East Coast. But about 4:50 left. As all the cars are still in the garage waiting to pull out for that final. Here we go. Lando Norris is the first to move. Oscar Piastri is coming out next. So cars are going to be entering the track for the final flying lap. As we have the Mercedes split the McLarens. I believe that is George Russell. It is George Russell. Looks like got an Alpine, got the Racing Bulls. Ooh, a little bit of a squeeze there between the Racing Bulls and right in front of Piastri. That was close. That was really close there, as they are now just waiting at the end of pit lane. Of course, pit lane exit is open, as it looks like it is Isaac Hadjar first out followed by Hulkenberg and Bortoleto. Verstappen is still in the garage. He's probably going to be one of the last to go. First to go out in Q2. He's probably going to be one of the last to leave in this session. So this is to see who escapes the bottom 5. They're trying to get the Williams out in between the Haas and McLaren. It's amazing how tight the pit lane is at Spa. Looks like this is Alex Albon waiting. Ocon may not wait, but he is, so. The Sauber team would look like they were getting tires ready, but I'm not sure for what. They definitely can't pit their cars. About to get a replay of, I believe this is the incident between Norris, or the Racing Bull, of Lawson and Piastri radio. He said, oh man, yeah, some people need bigger mirrors. A lot of people need bigger mirrors, apparently. I didn't see what the last word. Yeah, apparently. So, they're talking about on the Sky broadcast that may be looked at. I don't know. It was close, but I don't think it was. To me, that's more gamesmanship than anything else. So, Gasly, looking at his lap. Currently, the only car still in the garage is Verstappen. He's being listed on the broadcast as being in the pit lane, at the very least. So I would assume he's in the garage. Which you would also think that Red Bull thinks he's safe, so why waste him going out? Which is kind of crazy. You would assume that, but he definitely does not have time to do a lap now. Which is kind of crazy, as we're looking at Oscar Piastri's current form in the graphic. 3rd in Monaco, 1st in Spain, 3rd Canada, Austria, 2nd in Great Britain. Everybody's on their out lap. Nobody's doing a flying lap yet. We're about to get to those, so this is another one-lap showdown here. As we're looking at the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. He has officially started his flying lap. We're going to see how he compares to Liam Lawson at the end of Sector 1 as he comes to the end of the Campbell Straight. DRS wide open, 210 miles per hour hit before he hits the brakes into turn 5, about 125 meters away. Wow, that was a lot quicker, 75 meters than I thought. Point 1, he is currently up on Liam Lawson. He is on track to escape out of the bottom 5, but we could see some upsets, of course. Once the drivers cross the line, they will be counted for Q2. No other times can be set as Gasly comes around. Puhan. We're looking at the times of Isaac Hadjar as well, who must be the next car up on track. He is going up against Oscar Piastri is the times that we can see. He is not Liam Lawson's best time. Hulkenberg, currently yellow sector 2, so does not get a personal best, but is still up on Lawson as we are having what would be our first. Gasly could technically run one more lap, but I don't think he's going to. But Gasly, across the line, only moves up to 9th. Does move Lawson into the drop zone. Up next is Hadjar. Improves to 6th place. First official time set. Hulkenberg can only get 11th. He is out. Bortoleto can move up, though, into 7th place. Only 4 cars. So the drivers behind him, he would hope, does not get it. Ocon, it has him listed on an out lap, but he may not have made it to the line. So Ocon may be out. Looking at the times of Russell, Sainz, and Lawson. Lawson is green all the way through. Russell across the line can only get to 6, but it's okay. All he needs to do is not be in the bottom 5. Carlos Sainz is the next car to worry about. He does not improve. Carlos Sainz only 14th. Esteban Ocon is... Okay, Ocon is purple. Lawson does move up into 8th place. So he is safe for now. Gasly looks like I don't think he's doing another flying lap, so he is out. Ocon with the purple sector 1, Behrman. So we got the 2 Haas drivers seeing where they can put Albon and Bortoleto. Albon does not improve. He's in 10th, so he has to hope that the 2 Haas drivers do not improve ahead of him. But Ocon potentially It's going to be into the top 10, making it to Q3. Across the line comes Alex Esteban Ocon, only 11th, 2/100ths of a second behind Albon. Behrman is the last hope for Haas. Comes across the line. Haas with 11th and 12th. Pierre Gasly is 13th. Nico Hulkenberg 14th. Carlos Sainz 15th. So, eliminated in Q2, unless if anything changes. Esteban Ocon is in 11th. Oliver Behrman is in 12th. Pierre Gasly is in 13th. Nico Hulkenberg is in 14th. And Carlos Sainz is in 15th as we're looking at Behrman. Maybe his reaction across the line, or maybe did he make a mistake into turn 1 to start his lap? Yes, a little. Oh, maybe that slide coming out of turn 1 cost him a chance to fight for Q3. As we are in between sessions in Q2 and 3, we're going to have a 10-minute break. We'll be back here on the pit straight for Q3 to see who grabs pole position for the 2025 Belgian Formula One Grand Prix. And the green lights are on at the pit lane as we are going into the final session of the day, Q3. I'm a little bit bright, but it's all right. But yeah, here we go. This is to set the pole position for tomorrow's Belgian Grand Prix. I think, I need to look at the lineup again, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, mine, Russell P3, Norris P2, Piastri P1 prediction is still up for grabs. Let's see if it actually happens. But, by the way, War Eagle. Two lap times will be set. Looks like Verstappen is on a new set of softs, the C4 compound. He is currently in second. Russell looks like is the leading car on track so far. And thankfully with only 10 cars, it's a lot less congested than it otherwise would be. But it's like we have Sauber in the rear. We got the two Racing Bulls. Tsunoda is coming out of the pit lane. So in the final 10, we have the McLarens of Piastri and Norris, the Red Bulls of Verstappen, Tsunoda, the Ferrari of Leclerc, the Mercedes of Russell, the Racing Bulls of Hadjar and Lawson, the Kick Sauber of Bortoleto, and the Williams of Alex Albon. Looking at the qualifying form of Charles Leclerc, second in his home race in Monaco, seventh in Spain, eighth in Canada, second in Austria, sixth in the UK at Silverstone. So George Russell again will be the driver who completes the first flying lap. So we'll see what time he has. Again, I'm expecting the McLarens to be the team that will set the benchmark. Comment down below who you're looking at his live speed now. As he comes, as we see the bottom of the helicopter, as he comes up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Looking at Piastri, who is now exiting the bus stop chicane, beginning his first flying of lap of what we would expect to be 2. As Verstappen is in turn 5, coming into turn 6, coming into turn 7, going down the short chute into turn number 8. The long right-hander gets a little bit of the gravel, I think, coming out of turn number 7. As we're looking at the timings of Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, the top 3 in the sprint from earlier today. But those are the cars we're focusing on. So you also see Leclerc's position, who qualified in P4 for the sprint race. Yes, that was earlier today. Expecting these to be competitive lap times. We could see a new track record at the end of this as well. As Verstappen, purple sector 2, is coming out of halfway through the straight, about to hit the left kink. And it's about to set the first true lap time. Even though I think Russell's ahead of him, they're not really showing Russell. But he does cross the line. Russell first is in first place. Not given a time yet, which is a little bit strange. Maybe he had a lap time deleted. But Verstappen, 141.0. Seems relatively slow, but again, they got some pace to pick up on. As we're looking at Norris is 4/10 up on Verstappen. Out of sector 2. Norris with the purple sector 2. Should be pointed out as Norris is coming, this is Piastri, coming through the bus stop chicane, coming across the line. You would expect this to be a P1 time, and it is 3/10 quicker than Max Verstappen, but Norris could beat that. Let's see. Comes across the line, 140.5. Wow, 140.562. Lando Norris is currently in P1, followed by his teammate Oscar Piastri, 140.7. And Verstappen, 140.0. So Norris, half a second up on Verstappen. That's a lot of time to make up as Albon goes 8th with time 1.707. Verstappen is saying he didn't, really weird, he feels like he didn't have enough grip there. Yeah, he just feels he didn't have the same grip. As we're looking at a replay of what happened to Albon, he looks like he got in the gravel, coming out of turn 9 into Pouon. So that compromises lap just a little bit there. As we're looking at the McLarens, you would think they would come in, but they may just be saving some tires and just going to do another lap. Just like in formation there, but you would expect them to come into pits as Russell has entered the pit lane. If you look at the karting track, that's cool that they're doing like actual go-karts while the Formula One qualifying is going on. That's really cool. Yeah, everybody's coming to the pits to gear up for the final run of Q3 to see who gets pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. Right now, it's in McLaren's hands. They're half a second up on the next fastest driver, which is Verstappen. We're looking from the helmet, from the visor of Oscar Piastri as he enters the pit lane. In second gear, hits the pit limiter. Bortoleto, time deleted. Track limits at turn 10. So Bortoleto is currently still in 10th place. So the fate that hit Lewis Hamilton to cause his Q1 time to be disallowed has now hit Bortoleto. But Bortoleto has time to make a second run, and you know he will. He just needs to watch his track limits. So all the cars are in the pit lane, getting ready for the final run, getting a fresh set of soft tires if they have any, refilling the battery, and we're going to see who has it here as cameraman hits the back of the Sauber pit crews. We're looking at what happened with Bortoleto. This is coming, it looks like the exit of 11. Maybe for, nope, it was actually at the exit of Puhan itself. So all 4 tires over the white line. Same thing that got Hamilton. We're about to see a replay. Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry. Lap time deleted for Bortoleto, so he's in 10th still. Still has a chance to make one more flying lap. But just waiting on the drivers. Russell radio. Did everyone go slower that run? Response looks like it's much slower. Some had used tires, George, where it looks like others complained too. Like Verstappen said, it was low grip. So drivers are complaining of a potential low grip on the circuit as they all come out for their final time around. The Mercedes of Russell will be behind the McLarens and the Ferrari. So if he stays close enough, he could have good slipstream. As we see, it's like that is Hadjar coming out. It is showing Lawson still in the pits, but I think he's coming out now. He is in this little group of cars. Who is the first McLaren? It's probably going to be Norris, my guess. Yep, Norris is the first McLaren, as we see on board with Max Verstappen coming up the hill on the Camel Straight. Showing the previous pole positions: 2020 Lewis Hamilton, 21 Max Verstappen, 2022 Sainz, and then last 2 years has been Leclerc. Also, a lot of this information I am seeing on the broadcast, and I am doing my best to make sure that I let you know that is not, of course, not something I'm hearing directly. I'm getting it all from the sources. I try to be really good at telling you what the sources are if I'm listening to the broadcast, what they're saying, just so it can come across to you. So, looking at Oscar Piastri, it is Max Verstappen. It's looking like is the first car out in the line. So it is currently Verstappen in front. Also, apologize for how bright it is. I didn't realize it was that bright. Let me see if this, what does this change? Yeah, I still need that too. My face is lit, so there we go. The phones of live streaming. Looks like Verstappen, and then looks like Hadjar, I believe, is the next car behind. Looking for the Q3 laps here. I'm gonna get. Come here. No, she doesn't want to come up right now. Anyway. But waiting on the cars to cross the line. This would be, I believe this is going to be everybody's final lap here in Q1. Still waiting on Verstappen to cross the line. He is the lead car out front right now. With 2 minutes left to go in Q3, this is the make it or break it lap for everyone. Technically, Verstappen should be crossing the line with enough time to do one more lap if you wanted to, but I'm assuming that this is it. Getting the tires warmed up, getting some speed, hitting the brakes into the bus stop chicane, and beginning the first flying lap to see who grabs pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. It is officially go as Verstappen crosses the line. I'll keep you up to date with the sector times as well. Currently fighting to see how he compares to Lando Norris in the McLaren. Looks like he got a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 1. I'm going to check that again on my phone because I have my phone and my computer. Maybe she's a weird kid. Like, he was going straight for the inside wall. Like, purposely he was aiming that way, but it looked like he got loose as he comes up to the top of the Campbell Straight. As we're looking at Norris, very close to the gravel. Norris is using every single centimeter of the track. Verstappen coming into Sector 1, almost 2/10 behind Norris. Let's see if Norris can improve on his lap. As Norris has come to the top, we're looking at Verstappen. We're seeing Norris in the box. Norris barely does not improve, 0.083 behind his first lap. We do not have times for Piastri yet, so that must mean he has not crossed the line to begin his first lap. We get him for Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is purple out of Sector 1. See Verstappen go through turn 12. Norris is coming into Wuhan, turn 10, just exited turn 9. Keeping an eye on Leclerc, because right now he has a shot of grabbing pole. Green for Verstappen in Sector 2. Improves personal best, does not get any closer. 0.3 behind Norris now. We're waiting on the next sector. The next sector time we will know of is Norris, as he is coming into the right, left, right before the final back stretch. Norris gets a purple, still slower than his first time, but he has a purple Sector 2. As Leclerc is now yellow on Norris. As a cat just jumped on my back. That's why I just did that. Scratched my back. I don't know what his problem is. He's a great cat, though, as you can see. But Piastri slower on Norris as Verstappen. Did he cross the line yet? I believe he has. Norris does not improve on his own time, so Piastri is the only hope, even though, let's see, greens for Leclerc. Leclerc P3, Verstappen P4. I'm still up for my Piastri Russell, because Russell had a purple one, but will Piastri improve? It kind of looks squirrely coming to the bus stop chicane. Piastri across the line, 0.085. He is in P2. Let's see what Russell does. Maybe I got the top 3 right, but flipped the McLarens. No, Russell P5. Verstappen may have aborted the lap. I didn't see that. But he may have aborted. Verstappen is currently P4. Lawson P7. Tsunoda may not be crossing the line, as Russell does get a purple Sector 3. But it is Tsunoda P6. So cars are still crossing the line. Albon is the only one left, just to get a final top 10 of what it could be. But yeah, okay, P9. So your top 10 in Q3, as we're looking at Verstappen. Let's see what happened. So, okay, so something did happen coming out of turn 1, because it looked like he squirreled, but it also looked intentional for Verstappen radio. Oh, my bad. That was really, oh my God, that was really bad. Just no grip. Just no grip to start the lap. So yeah, okay, so he did slide. Again, it looked like he slid, but it also looked like he was just trying to get to the inside as quick as he could to take the shortest distance. Oscar Piastri, 0.085 behind Lando Norris. That is a heck of a lap from Piastri. But yeah, that is the session. Lando Norris is on pole. Oscar Piastri is in second. And the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc is in P3. Looks like Norris improved on Sectors 2 and Sector 3. That's where he got him. Piastri had its quick. It's amazing the margins. The margins were at least hundredths of seconds all the way around. As we're now looking at the beautiful circuit of Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. So yeah, top 3. Lando Norris P1, Oscar Piastri P2, and Charles Leclerc will start tomorrow's Belgian Grand Prix from 3rd place. We will be live for a watch along, 8:55 a.m. Eastern Time before a 9 a.m. start, I believe. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this coverage of the sprint race earlier this morning and of the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying session itself. Tomorrow we will be live for the actual race. Until then, thank you so much for watching the Pit Straight, whether it's the VOD or live. And I hope to see you soon here on the internet.